Welcome back to the channel, everybody. I am Mick Alphanim. So we're gonna we're gonna begin here on U.Today. We didn't finish all the bullish news. This is the news of what we're gonna do. It's not hopium. I saw somebody wrote that. It's true. Like, you got all these partnerships, you have all these banks, trillions in Nostro gonna get loosened up. You have multiple on-demand liquidity corridors everywhere. I mean, the people are getting excited, and the SEC case is almost over. Everything's looking good. So we're getting an explosion of good news. This article here is from U.Today, and it's titled "XRP Showing Bullish Sign." This one's from Sentiment. All right. So yesterday we had like maybe 4 or 5. Was it? I don't know. It was a lot of different analysts telling us similar things. So now let's hear what Sentiment has to say. So it begins here. It says the crypto market appears relatively stagnant to start the week. Ripple affiliated XRP is catching attention with signs of bullish momentum. So once again, they're saying the same thing. They're iterating similar sentiments as everyone else. So according to a tweet by market analytics firm Sentiment, the firm suggests that XRP is showing a slight bullish sign, a quote, slight bullish sign due to milder trader capitulation, unquote. In simpler terms, and I've seen this myself, I mean, a lot of people come to me to let me know what's going on. So I can concur that this type of thing is happening. There's a lot of people leaving XRP. So they're selling, no matter where they bought it at, they're selling, they're leaving. That's up to them. But I'm just saying this, I have observed this over the last few months. This has been happening. All right. It says, in simpler terms, a number of traders are selling their XRP potentially at a loss, causing a drop in prices that historically precedes a rise in value. This phenomenon is known as capitulation, often precedes market bottoms, which then sets the stage for a price surge. So this is another piece of the puzzle that sort of fits in with what the others were saying yesterday. They were sort of approaching it from a different, more chart-based standpoint. It says the tweet further explained this behavior by stating that, quote, historically coins moving at a greater ratio at a loss compared to profit have a higher likelihood of rising in value, unquote. So this sentiment is based on a classic trading strategy where a major sell-off can often lead to a price increase. All right, we're going to leave off right there. That's on U.Today. I want to get to another article here. I don't want to leave too many articles out today. I usually skip about 4 or 5 of them, and then I post them in the members only section and such for those who would like to read those articles. So now this next article is also from U.Today, and it's titled "Crypto Boom in Japan." Now, anytime I hear Japan, I automatically think two bank coins. First, XRP, and second, you can't think Japan without thinking XLM. Look, anybody who understands what LightNet is doing, and one of the founders of LightNet owns 7,000 7-Elevens and 9,000 other stores in Japan. So anytime I think Japan, I think XRP, because the head of SBI Remit said they believe that the entirety of Japan would run on XRP, and they weren't the only ones, but I can't remember the other individual who said that. There were 2 of them, but it was from another company. I can't remember who else was the other individual, but also I think XLM because of the reasons I previously stated. So anyway, this is XCFTC boss highlights potential revival. So now let's scroll down here and see what they're talking about. It says, as the U.S. grapples with regulatory challenges around cryptocurrency, there may be a silver lining for Japan, suggests former CFTC chairman Chris Giancarlo. From Tokyo, Giancarlo tweeted a snapshot of a Japan Times headline reading, quote, "Crypto tumult in the U.S. might be a boon for Japan," unquote, reflecting his observations about U.S. policy and its potential impact on the Asia-Pacific region. This comes at a time when the U.S. Securities and Exchange Commission is embroiled in lawsuits with cryptocurrency exchange giants Binance and Coinbase. Ongoing regulatory battles in the U.S. raise questions about the ripple effects on the global markets. The collapse of FTX, previously a top-tier virtual token exchange, had already put the industry on edge. Some insiders in Japan, well, Japan has other things to that they've been taken care of. I'll just put it that way. You know, infusions of capital within their financial systems. Listen, they're not the only ones. You saw England do the same. Of course, you know, America's just completely, United States of America is completely propping up their financial system. You see China's having a lot of economic struggles as well. They're all sort of having to put band-aids on bullet wounds, so to speak. So this is why the new financial system is so integral to a more stabilized future, right? And why they're all rushing to adopt the DLTs. Just think about it. Ripple, even with the battles it has in the United States, has been running wild around the world, making all types of partnerships. It's unbelievable. Stellar has been doing the same. Algorand, Hedera, they're touching all the major markets at this particular time. When we talk about trillions in the future, of course, all right, in the future, trillions could possibly flow. That's not an exaggeration at all. Of course, everything happens in degrees. I don't expect everything all at once, although I would take it all at once. I don't expect it all at once. All right. First, we got to get past these regulatory hurdles. Once we get past the regulatory hurdles, that's when, in my humble opinion, people can start saying, hey, win moon, because now it's possible to take off like a rocket. Until we get past these regulatory hurdles, we're still going to, if people are going to remain in the bank coin, still going to have to remain patient. I think that's reasonable and logical. You let me know. All right. So it says here, some insiders in Japan, however, see an opportunity amid the U.S. turmoil. With an established legal framework in place, they believe Japan could further cement its position as a crypto-friendly nation. They definitely could. You see Hong Kong is out front. You see United Arab Emirate is out front. You see that the United Kingdom is trying to get out front. Japan, my apologies. Australia has done some very good things, especially with Ripple. You have a lot of banks down there. Allegedly, they have systems in place and ready to launch based on the XRPL. This is what has been reported. You can look that up for yourself. However, Australia has had some struggles as of recent. If the news reportings are correct. There was an article the other day where there's some banks now limiting individuals in Australia to where they can only take out, I believe, south of $700 worth of capital at one time, cash. Like they're severely limiting individuals, which is obviously putting a very bad light on their banking system. They're having a lot of different struggles, but once again, they're not the only ones. You're seeing things like that happen in Europe. You're seeing things like that happen in the United States. Maybe they differ in degrees, but what I'm saying is the entirety of the global financial system is under tremendous stress. And once again, we are the only ones that have the answer. None of them has a global system. Keep that in mind. None of them, right? Correct me if I'm wrong. No one who outside of Europe and the United States really is going to be using a weaponized SWIFT. And then on the other side, who's going to be using the BRICS system outright that's in the West? Given a few European countries have been going against the grain and saying, hey, we're open to using a common BRICS currency. Hey, we're open to using the yuan, the renminbi. So, other than that, no. So you have to have something in the middle that is actually a global system that nobody controls. What we're in the middle of when we put everything else to the side is a power struggle. Right? So in order for all of these countries to survive, because right now what it's looking like is if they continue on the course that they're on right now, and just let me know if you disagree with me or you have anything to add, I'll be willing to hear you out in the comment section. But what it's looking like right now is they're staring down the barrel of mutually assured financial destruction. What we're looking at, what we're experiencing right now, and listen, I know what their data, they're trying to manipulate data, in my humble opinion. They change financial phrasings and such to suit their needs, but you can't get around that. What it looks like right now is a global light depression. We've already been experiencing deceleration. I think deceleration has been proven. But look at the mortgage price. Mortgage price is going down. They're flooding everything with T-bills, so that still has to rear its head as liquidity comes out. You're looking at high yield bonds, right? High yield bonds. How's that going to affect, risk assets and such like that as people go and they look for non-risky assets to make some capital and make some gains in? There's all of these different things, and everything that it points to, in my humble opinion, I could be wrong, but it points to a light version of a depression, like I've been saying for a long time. So now, and don't get me wrong, so you still have sticky inflation. They haven't brought it down to 2%. They're just saying, so I don't understand how they're not going to continue to take action. They're going to have to continue to take action, which then puts stress where? It puts more stress on the banks. Listen, the whole setup, now this is going to take some time, but the entirety of the setup looks absolutely brilliant for the long-term picture of the new financial system, the bank coins. You can't get around it. It's their only way that they loosen up liquidity, do things where they save costs. It's the only life raft that they have left. That's it. And none of them, once again, none of them has interoperability where it glues all systems together around the world neutrally. Ripple has that. XRP. XLM has that. And listen, USDC, throw that out the window, in my humble opinion. In the future, who wants to use a dying US dollar? Who wants to use a US dollar or a pegged US dollar stablecoin that could be weaponized? Other countries are going to start saying, just like they're saying now, hey, we want to dump dollars. Why would they not also dump USDC? So if they're going to be dumping USDC, then what's that leave? XLM, Algorand, any of these chains that run stable coins. Those stable coins are not actually stable, right? They're stable in the sense. Those stable coins are not actually stable. They're stable in the sense that they're pegged to a fiat currency, but the global fiat currencies are not stable. Correct me if I'm wrong, right? So the US dollar definitely is not stable. You have even Janet Yellen saying that there's going to be a slow decline in the dollar. So then people might say, well, what about the yuan? There's articles out today. I'm reading articles today where they're saying that China's yuan has lost the stability it once had. And so now China is taking steps to restabilize the yuan, which they've done before, correct? Look those articles up. So it's not just me telling you, you can see them for yourself. All right. So listen, around the world, fiat currencies is what I'm talking about. Fiat currencies are not stable, no matter what they try to feed the people. I know the truth because I've seen it, and you know the truth, right? Those price fluctuations, the fact that they have a currency, this is a currency war. They have a currency war going on means that there's not going to be stability, right? So let me circle back around and get back to the articles. All right. I know I'm giving you a lot, but I'm trying to give you as much as I can, give you your time's worth. Okay. I appreciate you being here. Every single person. I appreciate you being here. Thank you. It says a vocal advocate for the cryptocurrency industry, John Carlo, is known for his crypto-friendly stance. His endorsement of digital currencies includes the controversial statement. Here we go, folks. That Ripple's XRP is not a security. So we have another person here who is pro XRP, a subject currently under fierce debate in U.S. regulatory circles. Given the existing regulatory framework, industry players in Japan anticipate that their country will largely remain unscathed by ongoing crypto storm in the U.S. Let me go back for a moment. Now, I want to get the exact. This is from Tokyo. John Carlo tweeted. Wait, let me scroll up. Former CFTC chairman Chris John Carlo. So that is the individual saying that XRP is not a security. So look, once again, CFTC definitely has been on our side, has been a very good ally in this fight for the truth coming out about cryptocurrencies, the bank coins in particular being currencies, being commodities. I mean, my apologies. All right, so now we're going to move on to this article here, which is on finbold.com, and it is titled Stellar XLM Meteoric Rise Catches Crypto Traders Off Guard. Meteoric. That's very powerful words, in my humble opinion. You know where, see, I always wonder, do some of these article writers know where Stellar went before? Now, where we began with Stellar and where it went to in the last bull run, now that was meteoric. Oh, yeah, we saw some good gains. But let's read this article and find out what they're talking about. Okay, let's find out. It says, amid an ongoing struggle of the wider cryptocurrency market to retain its bullish momentum, Stellar XLM has been under the radar, recording gains on all of its charts, particularly noticeable in the last 7 days, during which the digital asset climbed by more than 20%. Okay, I see. When you're looking at percentage wise, then that looks really good. It says, as it happens, the value of Stellar has been, quote, going nuts. I wouldn't go that far, I wouldn't go that far, but okay, going nuts, and no one is talking about it, unquote. Listen, you want to see nuts, just wait until the next bull market. Just wait until the next bull. In my humble opinion, you saw what it did the last bull market. What do you think is going to do this bull market? We have way more partnerships, way more notoriety, way more prestige. We have a ton of good publicity that's been out there from big companies, even United Nations, utilizing Stellar. And then on top of that, if we have regulatory clarity at the same time as a next bull run, then you're going to see maybe, possibly. All right, let me say, I'm not a financial advisor, not financial advice. But then maybe you're going to see Stellar go nuts again. Let me say that again. All right. So, and it really, obviously, it depends on how much Stellar you have. Some people may have a little, then you need a higher price. Some people may have a lot, you need a lower price. Who knows? I'm not one to know that particular information. But let's finish reading this. It says, quote, going nuts, and no one is talking about it, quote, unquote, as the price of XLM neared a critical threshold of 10 cents. As observed in a chart pattern analysis shared in a tweet by the pseudonymous crypto trading expert, Nebraska Gooner, on June 27. What a name. All right, so let's scroll down here, see if they have anything else. It says, indeed, Stellar was at press time changing hands at the price of 9 cents, which represents a gain of 4.42% on the day, as well as an increase of 20.81% across the previous week and an 8.32% advance in its monthly chart, according to the latest data. All right. So now let's, they have a lot more here that, once again, that's on finbold.com. If you want to read the rest, they have some very, very nice charts up there. So now let's move on to another article here. And it's also XLM. And actually, I think this is the XLM XRP article. So this article here is from finbold.com, and it is titled 3 cryptocurrencies under $1 to buy in July. Oh, I like that little rhyme there. All right, so now let's scroll down here. Let's see what they're talking about. What 3? I wonder. Which face is better? For a wondering face. Those are terrible, I know. Oh, man. Anyway, I like to have a little bit of fun once in a while. It says, as bulls and bears continue to play tug of war on the cryptocurrency market, some of its assets are showing more potential than others to become good investments in the next few weeks. Some of them are still available at a low price of $1 per whole coin. With this in mind, Finbold has analyzed the crypto sector to arrive at a list of several cryptocurrencies that fit the above description. Wait a minute. Now, keep in mind, this is from Finbold, so this is major. All right. So it says, I'm trying not to skip an important piece here. So with this in mind, okay, then they go into the analysis that says they are worthy of consideration to include in every investor's to buy list for the month of July. All right, keep in mind, this is Finbold saying it's not Alphanine. Whether you buy or sell doesn't mean anything to me. You got to make up your own mind. All right, I'm just a humble researcher. That's all. So now it says here the first one up is XLM. It says XLM. It says, at price time, Stellar's changing hands at the price of 9 cents, recording increases on all of its charts, including rising 5.61% in the last 24 hours, as well as gaining a significant advance of 23.63% over the past 7 days and increasing by 10.28% in the previous month, thanks to multiple positive announcements like the MoneyGram integration. All right, then scroll down here. A regular appearance on the low cost to buy list, VeChain. VeChain is number 2. So they have 2 of our utility coins from Finbold. All right, so we make some good picks here. And like I said, with the utility coins, we need regulatory clarity, and then we'll really see what they're made of. They'll get a chance to run, boom, 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 and do what it is that they do, and capitalize on all of these major partnerships that they have. Right now, they're being held back. They have to be. For various reasons. You know, companies are not going to be able to fully utilize them if they have regulators breathing down their necks, right? Sort of like how you saw whatever that exchange was, and SEC said, hey, Algorand, we don't like Algorand. I'm paraphrasing, of course, to keep it light. We don't like Algorand. And then all of a sudden, not only did the exchange drop Algorand, but then a lot of people sold Algorand, right? So that goes to show you can't really run free right now as a bank coin, utility coin, the way that you should be able to in the West without regulatory clarity. But nonetheless, XLM is number 1 on their list. VeChain is number 2 on their list. So this is why they're calling this period the Great Accumulation. While everything is down, people are just accumulating, right? Those who believe in this brilliant future that has been building and that you can witness through all of these partnerships and such. So VeChain continues to be a good investment in July as well, thanks to its recent price action and developments surrounding its ecosystem, such as the recent listing announcement by crypto exchange Coinbase. I would love for VeChain to go crazy. I would love for it. But we'll see what happens. They're a great company, and in the future, I believe they have an insanely bright future because of all of the different utility. They have probably the best utility out of all utility coins. Those QR codes, companies are, some of them, not all of them, but some of the companies are utilizing that technology already. We just needed to spread around the world like wildfire en masse, and then boom, 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 you're gonna start to see something happen. Just my humble opinion. But it says VeChain is currently trading at 1 cent. We're just gonna round it off to that 1 cent, which demonstrates an increase of 25.93% across the week, despite minor losses of 0.95% on the day and 8.05% over the past 4 weeks, as the recent chart indicates. So what's the last coin? What could the last coin be that they recommend? I don't know. Finbold, a prestigious website. What could it be the last coin? XRP, of course. XLM, VeChain, XRP. Those are good picks in my humble opinion. Good job, Finbold. I agree with you. All right, so now it says another digital asset that prides itself on constant growth in recent weeks is XRP. The token at the center of the lawsuit, of course, they got to bring in the lawsuit, of course. It says despite increased regulatory pressure, active XRP addresses have surged, indicating an imminent price breakout for the token that has already gained 0.77% across the previous 7 days and 2.10% on its monthly chart, as its price presently stands at 48 cents, according to the most recent data retrieved by Finbold. Okay, so I'm going to stop there. They have a lot more, and they have some very nice charts. Once again, check out finbold.com. You want to read the rest of that, see the rest of that article, and let's move on here. All right. Today is a push day, really. For me, is it a push day for you? We got some good work done today. Also did insanely hard workout earlier. I've been doing that a lot lately. So it's like it just takes a lot of energy out of me. So after this, I'm definitely going to get a rest. I'm going to get some rest and just try to read some stuff that's maybe entertaining. Might read a comedy book. I have a comedy book upstairs, so I'll probably give that a look-see and have a laugh and just relax, you know. Anyway, I hope you all are having a good day. I hope you had a successful day. All right. So now this article here is from cryptonewsflash.com. Now, this is the second article from this article writer, Godfrey Benjamin. Now, we read another one, if you remember, where Godfrey Benjamin said the exact same thing. And I'm still trying to figure out why this individual is saying what they're saying. But let's read the article, and then together, maybe we can come up with an idea of why he's saying this. So the article is titled, Crypto Power Trio, Ripple's XRP, Stellar's XLM, and Forge Alliance's IOTA, ready to disrupt billion-dollar crypto market with potential swift integration. Now, we've heard this individual say this before, and the previous article was a little bit vague, and it did reference ISO 20022, but that doesn't necessitate a guaranteed integration with Swift. Now, what I'm thinking is, and you tell me if maybe I'm reaching here, what I'm thinking is that maybe this individual is seeing what's going on with the FedNow system, right? First of all, I think it is definitely possible, if Swift wants to survive, that it could have certain integrations, right? Attachable integrations where if certain institutions want to use XLM for retail CBDC or use XRP for a wholesale CBDC, something like that, then they could do that, IOTA for whatever it's used for. Sure, then they have the option to do that. Sort of like what FedNow is doing. So now FedNow set a lot of interesting precedents, as it's not DLT technology, but FedNow has integrations with blockchain companies, right? So it definitely could integrate with a company that's built or building on Stellar, or built or building on the XRPL. It definitely can do that. It's already showed that it has those capabilities. So now, maybe this individual is taking that information and saying to themselves, well, given things that Swift has said in the past, then it's definitely possible that those integrations could be made possible, just like it is on FedNow. But let's read this article. My apologies. If I said this, if I repeated myself, my apologies. All right, so now let's, it says here, the crypto sector has seen tremendous growth in years, with various digital currencies vying for dominance. Ripple XRP, Stellar XLM, and IOTA have emerged as key players. I agree. Each with a unique value proposition, unique utility, unique use case. These three blockchain projects have joined forces to form an alliance. That has the potential to revolutionize the multi-billion-dollar crypto market. Now, see, like, and it has it underlined. It says formed an alliance. But why would this individual say that? Now, don't get me wrong. They all have interoperability. They all work together. They're on the same panels. They're in the same corridors. No problems whatsoever. So clearly, they definitely have no problem with working together, these two companies. Although, you know, once in a while, they put on this guise of like, hey, maybe we're in competition. Maybe we want to talk a little trash to each other. Certain individuals in those companies. That's all a farce, in my humble opinion. If that was even real, I don't know if it's real or not. But definitely, that seems like a farce, in my humble opinion. But to definitively say joint forces, let's continue to read. It says, with possible integration with SWIFT, a global financial messaging network. Let me stop there. I don't think we need SWIFT. I never did. If you've been here since the beginning of the channel, you heard me say that before. I don't think we need SWIFT. I think we can take over. I think we can dominate not only SWIFT. Once again, you have almost a huge swath of the world becoming BRICS nations, no longer want anything to do with the US dollar. Why would they use? And they don't want to have to deal with the US dollar because of the weaponization of it. Well, SWIFT is weaponized. Why would they use that? So who's going to be using SWIFT? So we could take a huge swath of the world and we can take a piece of the West as well. We don't need SWIFT. SWIFT needs us. That's how I feel. Now, whether the companies feel like that or not, who's to know? It seems like they definitely want to get along with the legacy system, so they're not going to speak how I'm speaking now. But I think that the truth still stands, that we don't need them. We can dominate outright. You may say, well, Alpha Nima, I don't think so. But then why would Christine Lagarde, the head of the ECB herself, type this in and look it up. Why would Christine Lagarde say that she has fears that the bank coins in particular could render the central banks useless? Because if you have a proper system set up, a proper decentralized system set up, then banks are pointless if everybody can move capital around very safely, custody their own capital like in a bank account, but they have it in a cold wallet, hot wallet, whatever it is going to be. As technology advances, everything will obviously become better. I don't think we need SWIFT. I don't, but the probability is that SWIFT is still going to be there in the future and serve some sort of purpose. So there's a high probability of that. All right. So I do take that in consideration. I'm just trying to remain balanced in my thoughts. You understand? All right. So now it says here, with possible integration with SWIFT, a global financial messaging network, this alliance could pave the way for widespread adoption and drive significant disruption. Their involvement in ISO 20022, an internationally recognized standard for electronic data exchange between financial institutions, further strengthens their appeal. Yes, which is something that Volante Tech, who has written, I think, 2 or 3 papers that you can go download and read on Volante's website and Twitter about the importance. And I think one of their papers was actually called The Importance of ISO 20022, which was very powerful. Those documents are very powerful because so many people just downplay ISO. I don't really care about ISO. All I need is for the banks to use these particular technologies. That's it. Whichever way it comes, that's all I need. That's it. All right. So my thoughts don't hinge on ISO, but I have read documents. I've heard both sides of the argument. But anyway, let's move on here. So it says ISO 20022 compliance is highly valued in the financial industry as it provides smooth and consistent communication across various financial systems. While Stellar and IOTA fought for ISO 20022, Ripple has been a member of the organization since 2020. All right, let me scroll down. This is a hefty article. The power of the power trio. All right. Ripple has established itself as a leading provider of blockchain solutions to financial institutions around the world. XRP, its native cryptocurrency, aims to simplify cross-border payments that we know. Let's scroll down. Similarly, Stellar, an open source platform, aims to promote fast cross-border transactions and bridge the gap between existing financial systems and blockchain technology. Stellar's native cryptocurrency XLM is crucial in supporting cheap and fast transactions, making it an attractive option for consumers and institutions seeking seamless cross-border transfers. Keep in mind, I think a lot of these coins are going to come in handy in the future if ever there is a global financial collapse, which is definitely possible in my humble opinion, given all the debt that these countries have, their weakened financial infrastructures, all their cyber attacks on each other. And then they speak a little bit about IOTA here. So this is an interesting article. It raises a lot of questions. I think more so it raises questions about, what does the article writer know? Did they write this because they know something? And you know why I say, listen, let me clarify. The reason I say this, that the article writer may know something and maybe they're trying to hint at something, but it could be nothing, is because I personally know how many people reach out to you behind the scenes. I think almost every article writer, researcher, YouTuber, if you have any type of respectable numbers that you're doing, like views that you're doing, there's going to be individuals who reach out to you behind the scenes. And I'm questioning, like, maybe somebody told this writer something. Now, it doesn't mean that what they said is going to come true, but I'm just playing with the idea that maybe that's why this individual is saying certain things, right? And it's from cryptonewsflash.com. So they've had some pretty big news at times. It's very interesting. So anyway, let's move on to another article here. All right. Okay. So now this article here is from Cointelegraph.com, and it is titled "Firms Managing $27 Trillion in Assets Are Embracing Crypto." It's from CoinShare CSO. The top 8 financial institutions with an interest in Bitcoin and crypto have a whopping $27 trillion in combined assets under management. Now, when we're looking at something like this, and of course they put Bitcoin up there. Of course, the people are going to want a piece of Bitcoin. Bitcoin is a moneymaker. They're probably going to want a little Ethereum as well, while Ethereum is making money. Although I think in the future, Ethereum will have some very, very stiff competition with Algorand, Hedera, very advanced smart contract platforms. XDC is in the game as well. So, but look at how we talk about these things. The most advanced technologies, the ones that are potent, are the ones that are going to take over and dominate the future. XDC, Algorand, Hedera, XRP, XLM. Now, $27 trillion waiting to get in and embrace crypto. Who do you think they're going to really be placing capital in the future? You think they're going to place it in coins that have no utility, or in the ones with utility? Utility coins are the future, in my humble opinion. So I would throw VeChain in there and such, but let's continue to read this article. So it says major United States financial institutions managing $27 trillion of assets are, quote, actively seeking to provide clients with exposure to Bitcoin and crypto. Now, another reason why I said what I just did, was the article we covered about a video or two ago, where it specifically stated $5 trillion was waiting. Investors worth $5 trillion were waiting to get into XRP. If they're waiting to get into XRP, logic would dictate that they also might want a piece of XLM. They might want a piece of Algorand, XDC, Hedera. That was a key piece of information, a key piece to the puzzle about where the future is heading, in my humble opinion, right? It's going to take some time, but they're letting people know now the money is there. The BlackRock getting involved is letting people know the money is there. Fidelity getting involved is letting people know the money is there. It's coming. Just not everyone has the patience, and not everyone has the ability. I understand that too. There's patience, lack of patience sometimes. Then there's the lack of ability, because some people have to pay bills. Some people have important things. They got to extract that capital. They can't have that capital in play. I completely understand that, right? But those who are removed from those two groups and are there at the finish line have the possibility, not guaranteed, possibility to see probably one of the most explosive bull markets ever. And I think it's going to be one of the most explosive bull markets ever, because if the banking industry has any more problems, and I think it could happen towards the end of this year. Listen, you have over 900 banks at risk. I'm going to keep saying that. And I hope everyone's looking that up. All those numbers that the experts put out there. You have commercial real estate that could crash everything. Then there's a possibility of another pullback, like a severe pullback. There's not a guarantee, it's a possibility, all right? Maybe it doesn't happen, and I'm happy if it doesn't, because I like to play. But let's say it happens, then everything's going to get pulled back even more. But when you have these types of pullbacks, there's always going to be a select group of investors that are going to just buy everything up in sight. So then when the next bull market comes, boom, they're sitting on some insane gains. That's the technique that they use, right? When everything crashes, they're smiling, right? So that's just the way that it goes. That's what I'm saying. So it could be a very explosive bull run because of that. And then you have this flood of capital that they claim, this is what they claim, is waiting to get in. So I take that into account as well. So now, this is others. Oh wait, my apologies. I'm skipping some stuff. It says on June 26, CoinShares Chief Strategy Officer Meltem Demirors highlighted that at least 8 major financial institutions have signaled moves in the digital asset space, including BlackRock's spot Bitcoin ETF filing and Fidelity's crypto wealth management solutions. Others include JP Morgan, Morgan Stanley, and another thing before I go on, JP Morgan and their blockchain offerings, once again, they are a Western asset. They are a Western mechanism. Who is going to play with them in the BRICS nations? So they do not have a global system. We do. We have one of the best advantages of all time. Giving all the geopolitical tension literally has brought about our creation, our necessity, the need for liquidity that's possible to be the biggest liquidity cushion in mankind's history. That's number one, possible. Then number two, when the world needs a system to glue everything together, and the West can provide it, the East can provide it, you have a neutral system in the middle that can glue everything together and keep the world functioning. That's important, right? JP Morgan cannot do that. And not to mention a lot of trust issues with JP Morgan if you know their history, right? So JP Morgan, it says here, Morgan Stanley, Goldman Sachs, and that's why I never worry about these legacy system offerings at all. They can get a piece. We're going to take a huge piece. We're going to get our capital. In my humble opinion, is no guarantee. I'm just giving my opinion. Goldman Sachs, BNY Mellon, Invesco, and Bank of America, which backs what? Number one, Bank of America loves XRP. Let's get that out of the way. Look that up for yourself. Number two, they won a contest with Stellar XLM. They built on Stellar for that contest that they won. We covered that in the beginning. People screenshotted that. They saw the article, which is very hard to find now, but the people from day one, they got that information. So that's very good for us. Bank of America is in there, which means we are in there, right? It says, quote, many of the largest financial institutions in the US are actively working to provide access to Bitcoin and more, unquote. She noted, adding there is a whopping 27 trillion in assets under management between them. All right, so now let's move on here. We're going to end off today with a little bit of gold news. A little bit of gold news. All right. So now, this article is from fxstreet.com, one of the absolute best websites that I get gold news from. I get gold news from a lot of different websites, but they're one of the absolute best. And the article is titled, XAU USD prepares for a rally above $1,930 as USD index drops ahead of US durables. I saw that as well. DXY was down. So now it says gold price is demonstrating signs of volatility contraction below $1,930 in Europe in the European session. The precious metal is looking to deliver gains as the US dollar index DXY has come under pressure due to the risk appetite thing. I get happy every time the DXY is red. Every single time, it never fails. Brings a smile to my face. S&P 500 futures have posted decent gains in London as investors are shrugging off uncertainty associated with the upcoming quarterly result season. USD index has refreshed its day's low at 102.49 amid positive market sentiment. Meanwhile, upbeat US yields, upbeat US yields have been restricting the upside in the gold price. That's why I said that, right? 10-year US Treasury yields have jumped to near 3.7%. Mixed responses from the federal policymakers have kept investors on their toes. Atlanta Fed Bank President Raphael Bostic, my apologies, favored the continuation of a steady policy as further restrictions could damage the strength of the economy. On the contrary, San Francisco Bank President Mary Daly suggested that two more rate hikes this year are very reasonable projection. Two more, that's it? That's what you want to do? Get ready for trouble. If they only do two more, get ready for trouble. But says supporting similar commentary from the Fed Chair Jerome Powell. Listen, no matter what they do, and this is getting off of gold news a little bit, no matter what they do, they're in trouble. If they only do two more, it doesn't bring inflation down to where they wanted to get, the target they wanted to hit. Then on top of that, at some point, because they're causing so much damage, it's always questionable whether they're going to start printing money again. That's going to just bring the same problem back again. It's just kicking the ball down the road. They're stuck between a rock and a hard place. It says here, gold technical analysis. Gold price is auctioning in a symmetrical triangle pattern on an hourly scale, which indicates a decline in volatility, but is followed by an explosion in the same. Horizontal support is plotted from the previous week's low at $1,910.18. A straight 50-period exponential moving average at $1,926 portrays a non-directional performance. We're going to leave off there. They have some beautiful charts here. They have a lot of data actually in this little article here. Once again, that's on fxstreet.com. And now that you have that information, what are you going to do with it? I know what I'm going to do with it. So until next time, let's get to the money.